Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Charlie Kirk, alleged killer Tyler Robinson, seen smirkling during his first person court appearance this afternoon today. Shout out to Oven Mitt Rodney. Hello, Lemon J. Hope you're feeling better, my friend. Good to see you back. A little late night for those who are up. Today, we're going to talk about this topic here. Interesting, Cooper. Interesting, Janine. Thank you for being here, my moderators. Today was Charlie Kirk, alleged killer Tyler Robinson, as you see here, smirkling at times. First appearance in court. That's his attorney there. And remember, there's a lot of different views on this. Whether you're conservative, Democrat, independent. Some people think that he's innocent, but we're going to go over some of the facts. DNA, the screwdriver, the note on Discord, and also Candace Owens. She says, we all know who did it. We all know who did it, and that's what we're going to talk about. But what she's alluding to, she says she doesn't think it is this young man, 22-year-old, who's might get the death penalty. So we're going to talk about that today's live. Appreciate you guys coming in on this late night. I also got some Christmas lights up for those. Real quick, we got some Christmas lights up. I just want to show we've got the Christmas lights up for those like Uncle Charlie. We're able to get some lights up. But once again, appreciate you guys being here today. I'm going to turn the camera around here and just welcome everybody in. So interesting. We're going to talk about what we have. Like the Christmas lights. Pretty cool, right? Red, like the hat, like Trump. I appreciate it. Try to make a little entertainment here, guys. Thank you. Look, I'm going to give you my opinion later on. But we're going to talk about this now. Does everybody know who Candace Owens is? Because we might watch her podcast a little bit. And also Erica Kirk was on Fox. I believe it was yesterday, Janine, or one of the moderators could check it. And first time I ever seen her so upset, like just hurting. And she said, you could call me out and make fun of me, just like I say on here, right? Do everything you could, but don't call out my moderators or anything, eat me up alive, but don't leave my family alone, right? And today, Erica Kirk, or yesterday, excuse me, I believe it was yesterday. I just want to welcome in LGBT for Trump. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, we got the lights up. Hey, everybody. A little late night. I have a little late start tomorrow, so I figured come on. This is an important topic here. Once again, Charlie Kirk, alleged killer Tyler Robinson, seen smirkling. We're going to watch a little bit of it, not the whole thing, for those who missed it. And some people think that he's innocent, and they're missing evidence. Yes or no? Are they missing evidence on the assassination, alleged Tyler Robinson, who assassinated conservative Charlie Kirk? Now, let's go back to Erica. This beautiful woman, she suffered, and she went on Fox, and she's calling out Candace Owens. She has a YouTube channel, millions of subscribers, great voice. I don't particularly care for her thoughts, but we got to congratulate her on how many millions of views she has. And her thoughts are, she says, and I quote, we all know who did it, but she's saying it was Turning Point USA. And it's hurting Erica because she says, call me out, don't call my family out. Meaning her family as Turning Point USA. It's upsetting to her because, the evidence and the DNA from Kash Patel and FBI and police department are all going towards this young man, 22-year-old in Utah, Tyler Robinson, right? Now, we're going to go over like the notes and stuff. Let's talk about the notes. My voice is down a little bit, guys. I've got a little bit of a cold, so bear with me today. Oh, that looks good. Wow. Hugo, thank you. Hot cocoa. I need that. I really need. I had a little pumpkin coffee today. Very nice, and thank you. Let me give you a little heart there. Thank you so much for the donation. We're able to forward that to the homeless. If you're new to the channel, before we go any farther, like and subscribe only if you enjoy the content. Share the videos. We have plenty of shorts helping out the homeless. Once again, we each and every day helping out the homeless. A lot of views on the lady I helped out. A lot of controversy that this lady I helped out on the homeless looked rich. I don't know what people are supposed to look like on the street. Maybe because she wasn't all dirty or anything. But anyhow, it hurts me because she is a homeless lady and she enjoyed her hamburger and fries and much more that I gave her. But all right, we're going to go back to this. Let's watch a little bit of this. Should we? I don't know if we have any sound on this, guys. Hold on. All right. So that's the attorney there. That woman there to his left. To Tyler Robinson's left. That's the attorney. And this is Mr. Tyler Robinson, who is actually innocent until he's proven guilty. A little smirk there, you know. By the way, heavy security in the courthouse. Heavy security.
Court is now in session.
Heavy security. And by the way, guys, ignore some of the spam on here. Just ignore it.
Please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Kathy Nestor, excuse me, Richard Novak, Stacy Visser, on behalf of Mr. Robinson.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeff Hunt and David Ryman appearing on behalf of the media interveners that are identified in our motion papers.
Good afternoon. So as we begin, the first part is we'll begin by addressing the October 14th audio recording and the October 24th transcript. This portion of the hearing will be closed so that I may hear from the parties regarding which portions of the recording, the record should remain sealed. All members of the public.
I just want to bring everybody up to date. This was his first in-person court appearance. This was Charlie Kirk, alleged killer, Tyler Robinson, who had a quote-unquote transgender partner. And, of course, he's been found innocent at the time. There was a lot of fingers pointing him. That's the judge there. I forget the judge's name. There's a lot of people out there who think that this man is innocent. You can see him here, smirkling here. Lori, welcome in. And, we're going to go over that face of his, all these alleged assassin, and people who do these crimes always have that little bit of a, well, I wouldn't say all of them. I take that back, but a lot of them have that little smirk on their face. So let's go ahead and listen in, and we'll forward some of the parts.
And the press will be excused their relationship with Mr. Robinson. Thank you for your request. All right, we will go into the closed session.
So,
and the immediate response from all the employees of how much better this was
made
it clear that we were on the right track choosing Fulbright.
So, some photos of him here. There's his smirk there.
All rise. Court is being used now circuit on the podium prosecutor tonight.
All right, so let's bring everybody up to date. So today was his first appearance, and what do we know? I know it's a little dark, but you guys can just barely see me, but you can hear me fine. So thank you so much for being here. Look, we know that there was this note on Discord and exchange comments. That doesn't make him necessarily guilty, but they have DNA from the grandfather's rifle. His DNA is on that rifle. They found a screwdriver on the rooftop. Remember the rooftop? And that evidence of his fingerprints were on that screwdriver. Now, but then again, that just makes him there. So I'm going to play a defense attorney for a second. And so the fingerprints on the screwdriver still would not make him guilty. But the rifle, the grandfather's rifle, fingerprints on this this Tyler Robertson, I was going to call him another name, they found on there. So, and some would say it's a slam dunk, but according to some podcasts and some of the other media, Candace Owens says, once again, if you're just coming in, she says we all know who did it. She is pointing fingers at Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. So she says, no, it's not this man, it's Turning Point. Now, it also raised temper today on Erica, or yesterday. Erica is very upset because that's our family, and there was no evidence at all, on Turning Point. There was not. Now, they're saying, well, somebody in Turning Point let their guard down, they turned their head down. Well, even if they didn't have enough security, that doesn't mean that they're guilty, right? So we have to base going on the evidence, and I believe, in my opinion, what they have on the fingerprints, security surveillance of him walking through the neighborhood. Remember walking through, Uncle Charlie, look what we have. Christmas lights, Uncle Charlie. Just for you. Little Christmas lights, Uncle Charlie. Look how nicey nice. I don't know, can you see it? I kept the lights dim here. My wife helped me out. Got little Christmas lights, red, right? Like Trump. Little Christmas lights for the rest of the year. Yes. So, I say, he's going to probably be found guilty. Yes or no? And my second part of that, will he get the death penalty on this assassination of poor Charlie Kirk, who didn't deserve to be shot down? As Erica Kirk says, she thanks God every day that she wasn't there to witness that, and it was just a shame. And, everybody respect everybody's opinions on here, because he is still innocent in the court of law until they get these, to the jury and find him guilty. I say, in my opinion, he's going to be found guilty because of the fingerprints on the rifle. The screwdriver shows that he was there. Would be a little bit difficult, I think. But the rifle, that should be a slam dunk, but we don't know. But, one thing for sure, I don't like people like Candace Owens, who has her YouTube channel, to be very confident it was Turning Point. What evidence does she have it's Turning Point? Right? What evidence does anybody have that it was somebody on the Turning Point of the people that work for Charlie Kirk? There was no evidence at all. I'm going to turn the light on a little bit, guys, and then we'll turn it off. Just wanted to show everybody I'm a man of my word. I finally got the Christmas lights up. So I know it's kind of hard to see, but I was waiting for Uncle Charlie. Sal, put some about Christmas lights up. Welcome in, Flinner. So, based on what we have right now, and what the court has on the DNA of the rifle, it looks pretty obvious that this man did it. What we have here? Hold on. I think we have some audio here. Hold on.
Well, John, this is the first time we are physically seeing Tyler Robinson in court on your screen right now. And I believe the woman in the hair clip who is facing away from the camera is his lead attorney, Catherine Nestor. This is the first time he is in person in court here in Utah County. He has appeared virtually a few times before. But now outside of that courtroom that you're looking at right now, fierce, intense security, several city blocks cordoned off. All types of police in every direction, and a short while ago we saw a very large police caravan arriving to the courthouse.
So heavy security, because there's wackos out there, because we don't support these wackos trying to take out this guy. Let the court justice take him, but unfortunately they have to have heavy security around the courthouse. He has I believe he has a bulletproof vest on as well, but heavy security. Once again, if you're just coming in, this was alleged at this point, Tyler Robinson. Now, they did find a lot of stuff on Discord leading up to it, chatting among a lot of people on Discord, kind of bully him. Now, there hasn't been any charges that I know of these people on Discord, trolls saying, go ahead and do it, go ahead and do it. So right now, we have one person that is in court, first appearance today, who did this. But, there's other people out there saying it could be Turning Point USA. And there's this other group out there. They're saying, no, it's not Turning Point USA. It's not Mr. Tyler Robinson. It's somebody else. So, until they, till they figure out there was somebody else or Turning Point and the evidence that you have on the fingerprints of the rifle and the screwdriver, for me, this man is going to be, probably found guilty. Now, whether he gets the death sentence or not, that's up to you guys in the chat to debate. Everybody be kind of, be like an adult. Everybody has different opinions on this, right? And I don't think it's about a Democrat, Republican. It's just about how things are when you have these high profile, and Charlie Kirk was high profile, just like O.J. Simpson and all these other, unfortunate events that happen. And but right now, it's sad that Candace Owens. Look, I don't have no problem with Candace Owens talking about her opinion, but to call out over and over Turning Point, and that we all know, she's using those words. We can watch it. We all know who did it. You don't include your audience. You have a following. You're doing good, millions of subscribers, but we all know doesn't make sense to me, because it's telling, like, you don't know these people that are following you all agree on that. Maybe they agree that Tyler Robertson did, but we all know. And, it upset Erica Kirk. It upset her. First time I've ever seen her really pissed off. She never cussed or cursed on Fox, but she was pissed off. She's very mad. She's hurt because in her views, what she knows and who they witnessed, Turning Point has nothing to do with it. We can discuss Turning Point didn't have the best security. That's another subject, right? You understand? Maybe they should have more security. I might agree on that. But that doesn't make Turning Point guilty of this alleged shooter, right? Maybe they were lacking security, but they weren't on the roof. We had all these cameras and cell phones. There was nothing from the backside, any kind of weapon or anything. We all seen, we seen it in real time. Of course, they took that video down. I wouldn't show if they did, that happening, and Charlie Kirk, heading back, and then we know the rest. So I think it's unfair for Candace Owens and other certain podcasts, I'm not knocking them, to come up with this and be very confident. What they should be saying is, we don't have, what they should be saying is what I'm saying. He's innocent before proven guilty, and don't point fingers at Turning Point. You could say, well, maybe you can say they're lacking security, show us more evidence, those words. But then again, that's just it's your radical left. Once again, she's radical. She's made it clear. These people who don't like America, don't like the flag behind me. Ion Omar's another one, not on this topic. And they hate Trump. They hate Trump. And anybody who supports Trump and are high profile, they're going to head and rip them apart. And that's what's happening here. It's so sad. It's so sad. I have no problem with her voicing her opinion, but to say we all know, to use that word, we all know, it's sad. It's heartbreaking to me. It really is. All right, I'm going to pull some comments out. Welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. First appearance in court today. There were smirks on his face. Now, by the way, just because he has smirks in his face, and I think he did it, doesn't mean he's guilty. There's no smirks here, but there's plenty of smirks on his face.
Going into the Sally Port, and a massive armored vehicle in the middle of that caravan, who we can assume was perhaps Mr. Robinson, being delivered to this courthouse. Some of the doors are zip tied, so all types of
There's a little smirk and laugh in there, It's almost like, we're gonna win, I'm okay. No problem. A little smirk there.
measures being taken to make sure that this proceeding happens safely and securely today. Now, on the docket today, perhaps one of the most important issues, there was an October 24th hearing in which Judge Graff determined Robinson will be allowed to wear civilian clothing in court, as you see on your screen right now, but he has to remain shackled. Now, also in that October 24th hearing, general security measures and other issues of
he's shackled,
in this trial
so he has.
In a
You're not going to see it here, but he's, certainly he's got he's shackled up at his feet.
Closed portion that both the defense and prosecution requested remain private. The judge here granted the request that portions of that October 24th hearing be sealed, but then an attorney for the media coalition here intervened and asked that the transcript be made public, arguing in part that keeping it sealed is creating an impression of unfairness and secrecy, even though that whole thing may have been fair. So today, the judge may unseal some
Mike,
of
welcome in, Mike.
Hearing, and we will
Appreciate you being here, Mike.
Was discussed.
Mike and Janine, Cooper, Lemon J, thank you.
What the media and the public is going to have access to moving forward. Well, John, this is the first time we are physically seeing Tyler Robinson in court on your screen right now. And I believe the woman in the hair clip who is facing away from the camera is his lead attorney, Catherine Nestor. This is the first time he is in person in court here in Utah County. He has appeared virtually a few times before. Now, outside of that courtroom that you're looking at right now, fierce, intense security, several city blocks cordoned off, all types of police in every direction. And a short while ago, we saw a very large police caravan arriving to the court.
And by the way, I think it's unfair on both sides of the aisle, if you know what I mean, to put down the attorney. She's doing her job. Her job is to, these attorneys, their job is to get the evidence or lack of the evidence in this case, right? Because she's going to say lack of evidence, but it's unfair for everybody to point fingers at her. That's her job, and she was hired. So I forget her name, but the attorney on Tyler Robinson. Some would say there's not enough evidence, but for me, when you have a rifle, once again, for those who are coming in late, by the way, hello everybody, I'm Sal. Thank you for coming here. Like and subscribe. We appreciate it. We help out the homeless each and every day, and I just want to put that out there. But he is innocent before proven guilty. First day in court. I don't know how many days will go. It might go for a while. But when you have evidence and fingerprints on the screwdriver without a rifle could be a little bit complex, right? But when you have a screwdriver that was left up there, he left it, fingerprints on the rifle, grandfather's rifle, evidence of him walking. Remember, he was walking like something between his legs. Remember, he had something that was down his leg, and it wasn't his private part. And he was walking through the neighborhoods and surveillance, right? That's big. The discord, premeditated, saying he was going to do these horrific things. That there alone, without all that, then he possibly can get away with. But again, if I'm the prosecutor, I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, we have DNA, FBI on this rifle. It was owned by his grandfather. They turned him in. Remember, the father turned him in. That's something else. Father turned him in. Now, a good attorney, and I think she's good, will say, well, the father was mixed up. He's going by what he's seen on TV. So, I like to throw both at everybody. I hate to make this complicated, but for me, the fingerprints is a slam dunk. What's your thoughts? Think he'll get away with it? And if you think he's guilty, should he get the death sentence? Because we know Utah has it. It's a two-part question there. Yeah, he was smiling, smirking at times. Some would say that it just means he's innocent. I like to look at both. He's smiling because he thinks he's innocent. I don't buy that. I buy that the smirks are like he thinks he's going to get away with it. But that's just my opinion, Let me get some water here. Bear with me, guys. I have a little bit of a cold. Hey, thank you so much for coming on this live on this late night Thursday. The kid was never arrested. Let's see what else we have over here. We'll pull out some. America will never be great. Appreciate you guys being here. I think he's shitting himself. The smile is fake. Patrick Day, 2901. Appreciate your thoughts and your comment. Everybody has different comments on this. The only thing I don't like is spamming and threats on anybody on here, of course, or anybody else. Appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Hey, Danny, how are you? Thank you. Saying hi. Hey, Scotland, how are you? All the way from Scotland. How's Scotland? How's Scotland? How's the economy in Scotland? How's everything going? Appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, you know, my view, you don't have to agree with me. I'm just giving you my thoughts. When you have DNA, you know, and there's no other shots, right? And as far as Turning Point USA, if you're just coming in, they might be guilty of not having more security, right? But not guilty on assassinating their family. When I say family, Turning Point USA and Erica Kirk, and may he rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, is a family. But Candace Owens, she says, we all know who did it. It was Turning Point USA. Do we think it was Turning Point USA? Anybody in here? Yes or no? I mean, I don't think of anybody any less. I mean that. Let me look in the camera. Could it possibly be Turning Point USA involved? We got a no off the bat. We got a no. We got a yes. Nope. Yes. You know, so it's a little mixed up. And the question is, I just said, is anyway, nope. Turning Point USA was involved. Not in lacking security, but I'm talking assassination on their own family. Candace Owens, a hero and true friend to Charlie Kirk. Appreciate your comment. Miguel. Yeah, I mean, there you go. It's all kind of mixed up, right? Got some yeses, some nos. Let me ask a third part. Is it possible that Tyler Robinson didn't do it? Also, Turning Point USA did not do it. And there's another suspect out there at large. I'm just throwing it out there. You know, not Turning Point USA, excuse me, and not Mr. Tyler Robinson, 22-year-old from Utah. Is it possible that somebody else is out there, you know, kind of a conspiracy, and, you know, we'll get away? Just like, I don't want to get on the subject of JFK. You know, they're saying, well, it was the mob, it was this, that, what. So is it possible it could be another person out there at large, and they just let their guards down? And I guess I can make this even more complicated. And yes, there is a third person. They know who it is. They, FBI, and they're just going to not pull him or her or them in. You know? Well, let that go. It's too complicated. We're just going to go with this. I'm just throwing it all out there in a pot. But once again, if you're just coming in, too much surveillance. You know, that's a great comment. Thank you for putting that in there. I really mean that. Right. Too much surveillance. You know? Too much. And a lot of people will ask me, you know, about mob and this and that, whatever, mafia and all this stuff. You know, it's out there, but, you know, you're not going to never, ever see that happening like you did in the 70s and 80s with all the shootings and stuff from the mob. Because why? Too much surveillance, you know? And there's surveillance. And they have surveillance of this man with something between his legs that was a little bit larger than you know what, right? Remember? Weapon, large, down his pants, right? Walking through neighborhoods like he was hurt. I covered it. I said, oh, maybe he has a bad knee. Wasn't a bad knee. It was a weapon. There was a weapon between his legs. You know, he was putting it in his pants. There was a car. Video surveillance, like somebody said. Thank you. A rifle. DNA. Cash Patel, FBI says DNA. Screwdriver. What else was there? Was I missing anything? Was there a towel? I have surveillance video. I have it right here in my notes. Forgot to say it, so thank you once again. The notes. Discord. You know, notes. Now, my question, will any of these people on Discord that were like bullying trolls, you know, will they be brought in to testify on day 3, day 2, day 4, day 10. Discord, it's a chat room where you go to chat. That doesn't mean they're guilty. They could just be people that are just nuts. But can they be brought in and testify? And will they testify against Tyler Robinson on his first appearance? I think they're going to bring him in. See, here's what I think, though. I think the defense attorney will bring him in, and it might backfire. I think the lawyer, I think she'll call some of these, a few of them in this court to court, and it might backfire. Just my thoughts. Or maybe the prosecution could bring him in too. We'll have to see. I'm gonna cover this because some people would say it's not a slam dunk. I think it is. I think it is. And why I'm ruling out Turning Point USA, why I'm ruling them out, because there hasn't been any kind of video surveillance of Turning Point USA with any kind of weapon or rifle shooting at the suspect who was Charlie Kirk. Nothing. Until I see some of that, if I was a jury, I'm saying, well, I don't see it. I see one suspect. I see DNA. That's that, you know? So, you know, I've been in court. I was, you know, floor man, not even close to anything like this, but I'm sure a lot of you have been in court as a jury. And I'm sure you guys have been a jury, right? Has anybody here been on a high-profile case that is a murder case or anything like that? Because even if you do doubt, you have to go based on the evidence, right? Because I've been on different jury where I'm like, well, maybe not. But DNA, I'm like, okay, DNA, it leads, fingerprints, saliva. I'm not referring to saliva here. I'm just saying, speaking. Janet, how are you? Hello, everybody. All right. So, you know, that's the situation we have. And for those who've been following this case, today was the first day of court. Alleged suspect on assassination on Charlie Kirk, which was a sad day for the family, Erica and his family, the family of Turning Point, his kids, his daughters, and all of us. You know, whether you are a Democrat, a Republican, Independent, or don't care about politics, to somebody out there who's just voicing their opinion, who I didn't agree with everything he said, you know, was shot down from this alleged shooter, and he's in court today. And there's some people who are saying it's a slam dunk. Others are saying it's a slam dunk. He won't get the death penalty. Others are saying it's Turning Point, and some are saying it's the total different third person out there. So, third person. I thank you so much for the likes. Appreciate it. Hope everybody's enjoying their Thursday and Christmas. For me, the whole month is Christmas, and we should be able to say Merry Christmas. Thank goodness we got that back, and Trump brought that back. All right. Pull out some comments that... Let's see here. Not a third person or third party. Drewster, 86. Thank you for your comment. Regret voting for Trump. Hawks, thank you for your comment. Anybody else regret voting for Trump on here? Anybody else regret voting for Donald Trump on this Thursday? A couple weeks away from Christmas. I love Trump, somebody says. I hear you. All right. Tyler is a coward, Carmen. Hey, Carmen, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, he certainly looks like in court, you know, smirking, smiling. But anyhow, today's the first day in court, and it started, you know. It started with Candace Owens, you know. We all know who did it. she's assuming or alluding to Turning Point USA, and it really upset Erica Kirk, the wife. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And first time I've ever seen her upset. People get upset, when you lose a husband or you lose a spouse, and you start pointing fingers at the security and family. It's upsetting. Why it's upsetting? Because there's no proof that Turning Point did it. So, greetings. So it's a very sad situation. Hugo, thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the gifts. Thank you so much. All gifts, donations, memberships we're able to forward to the homeless, and thank you for all the memberships. Appreciate it. Your thoughts on today's topic. Whether you agree what I'm saying or disagree, we welcome everybody. Look, just because I think that he'll be found guilty doesn't mean he will, or I'm correct. I'm just giving you what we have, and there's no evidence on anybody else. It doesn't mean it could be a person out there, but we have to go on right now, his first day in court, of what we have. And right now it's fingerprints. He's all chankled up in his feet. Heavy security around the courthouse today. Thank you, Flinner. Appreciate you. Heavy security, because there's some wackadoodles out there, Hugo, thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you so much, yeah. There's some crazy people out there who they have to have heavy security. They're upset. And, so they have to have security each and every day till this trial is complete. I don't know how many days it's going to be. Today was day 1. Will it go 5 days, 10 days, 30 days? We don't know, right? I don't know. Does anybody, what do you think? Think it'll be done in a couple days? If you're just coming in, we're discussing a little bit of Charlie Kirk, the assassination suspect, Tyler Robertson, first day in court. Bring everybody up to date. We got here. Trump's in power. Well, he's the president. Yeah, I'm reading Lori Wagner's comment. Thank you, Lori. Tyler Robertson did it because he is a left-wing freak. It's a slam dunk like Luigi Mangione. Yeah, Luigi Mangione sounds like a slam dunk too, but that's a little bit more complex there now. I haven't been keeping all up to date on it, but there's some missing evidence there too, so we'll have to see on that, yeah. But again, like somebody said earlier, video surveillance, DNA on both, and it might come down to that. Probably will. All right. Let's see here we got. Yeah. I mean, as far as the video surveillance and comments I'm reading here, we all seen, I mean, they took the video down, but they have it, they have it, that it was that one guy, Tyler Robinson, from the roof. How did he get up there? How did that happen? So in that situation, I guess you can point fingers at the security of Utah, the police department, but I suppose you can point fingers at Turning Point USA, but that doesn't make them guilty of the assassination, see? And I think that's what Candace Owens and other podcasts and other people out there are saying. That doesn't mean that they're guilty because the security wasn't, I think that's what they're alluding to, but there's no DNA from the team of Turning Point USA, So for me, it's going to come down to that. They could get charged on, I don't know. I don't know what they can get charged on, but they won't get charged for assassination. So, and that's what she should be talking about, Candace Owens and other ones. They should be discussing how I'm saying it. You got to go based on the evidence. Sometimes we can't blame anybody, though, these days, right? Because, a lot of times, or sometimes, it's not the person, and there's mistakes happening, right? But now these days, with all the video surveillance and our DNA, something, it's not like the 70s, not like the early 80s. I think it was like in the 90s where the DNA came in at. These days, it makes it easier when a crazy person like this person alleged did this, makes it easier for the jury. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Someone said hit the like button, so I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. I welcome everybody in. Everybody has different thoughts on this alleged shooter. And just to bring you guys up to date on one more thing, he had a transgender partner, and that partner is innocent. So I think it was also unfair because there's no evidence on this transgender partner. There's also no evidence on this Discord people that were saying to go ahead and do it. They haven't been held guilty yet. I have a feeling, though, that they're going to be in court and to testify. Some of these people on Discord. I could be wrong, but I think that's what you're going to see. You're probably going to see at least a handful, maybe more, because I believe in, correct me, if somebody can look it up, if you don't mind, one of the moderators, I don't know if it was 20 to 30 people on Discord. When I say it was Discord, it was Tyler Robinson Discord, days before saying that he was going to do this. I forget how many, 20, 15, 30. Doesn't mean they're all going to be suspects, but I believe they might bring them all in. And they probably already did, but they're going to bring them into court. Could be the defense attorney, it could be the prosecution. But I know there's quite a few, 12 to 15. Yeah, so 12 or 15 or 10 might be brought in. Thank you. Somebody listening could be brought in. We see this a lot. We see it a lot. So. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. Sunglasses and everything. Thank you for the donation. But for me, I think the attorney might bring him in and it might backfire. Because, they're not perfect, the attorneys. They're not perfect. Beautiful. Merry Christmas. Beautiful. Appreciate the donations coming in here. Winter heart. Christmas. Lights. You can't see right now. I got the lights up. Tree up. Eagles tree up. Philadelphia Eagles tree. They're in a loose tree. Thank you. Sent winter heart. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're able to forward these donations. Much love to the homelessness that we fight for each and every day here in Las Vegas metropolitan area. So thank you. Thank you for all your support and donations. Kate, absolutely. Absolutely. That flag's up for Republicans, independents, Democrats, whites, gays, straights, whatever your deal is. Living in America and the flag is a beautiful, nothing better. Unless you're you hate it here, then go somewhere else. Do you think China created COVID? Well, it's out there, yes. It was in a lab. The second part of that question I had on to you, I don't think the people that live in China, right, were behind it, but the government certainly started in a lab. But I don't think we should hold the people, just like when Biden was the president and the committee was the worst we ever seen. You can't blame the Democrats who voted. I know a lot of my conservatives say, well, hell you can't, but it's not their fault, right? They were supporting their views and hoping that they were going to do good, and they did totally opposite. So I don't hold the Chinese behind it. Merry Christmas, Carmen. Love it. Yes, Merry Christmas to everybody on here. Merry Christmas the whole month. So I think it's unfair for people to call out, other countries when they, but yes, I do. My opinion. All right, let me get some water, see how long I can hold up on this live. My voice is hanging in there. All right, I'll pull some more comments out a couple more times here. I did not, Hugo. My wife checked over and over for that gold hat. I still have mine. Think we gave one away, but no, I think my wife checked that website out, and there's hats like this and army hats out there. But we're gonna order some more. By the way, thank you so much. 40,000 subscribers plus we reached a couple days ago, all because you great people. Thank you so much. 40,000 is a big deal, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right. I'll pull out a couple more comments here. Thank you so much for tuning in on day one, court appearance. Thank you, Lori. Yeah, 40,000. I remember just starting out and having goofing around like a lot of YouTubers do. And, you know, what's going on in Tennessee? Shout out to Tennessee. Good food in Tennessee. Lemon J, I hope you're feeling better and doing well with the heart and for Trump. God bless you. Have a good night for those who are signing off. Sleep good. Have a great Friday. If you're off on the weekend, God bless. Enjoy. If you haven't Christmas shop, and you do, I haven't done it, but we're getting close. I like Christmas shopping. All right. Let's see what we got over here. Anybody else new to the channel? Anybody else new? Anybody coming in from Canada? Italy? Germany? On this late night here, United States, in Las Vegas, in Thursday? Hugo, I'm gonna put some notes here because I got a lot going on tomorrow at my job. Chris, welcome in. That's right, we got Chris Green from Canada. We're gonna try to get a golden hat and give some away. Golden hat website. We'll get on that. Gavin Newsom, 28. Anybody else want Gavin Newsom to be the president in 2028? Lauren, thanks for listening. Appreciate that. Hopefully you enjoy the content and subscribe. We are adding more national debt again. We are. You're surprised to hear that from a Trump supporter, right? However, let me continue. At least the American people are going to get, you know, at least we're spending money on seniors, newborns, you know, all of us. Yes, I do. I have it. Yes, I do. I have the email. For those who are subbing, thank you so much for subbing. I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it on behalf of all of us. Thank you, the moderators, for being here tonight. Appreciate each and every one. Lemon J, Mike M, Janine. I think we had Cooper in here earlier. They say Lemon J and a few others. If I missed you, I apologize. Yeah, as far as Gavin Newsom goes, I would say he only has a 1%. That went up because I used to say 0. Hey, shout out once again to Hugo, who's sending some gifts here. Sending a high five, and I'm going to add a fist pump to it. Thank you so much. And I know Hugo's probably saying that's fine, but thank you. Israel killed him. There's no proof on that, but thank you for your comment. There's no proof. The only proof we have right now, or FBI is going on. Sorry, there's a cat side of my house. Only proof we have now is this suspect, Tyler Robinson. And we got to go on the DNA of the rifle, of the screwdriver, and the grandfather's rifle, and those evidence. Is there evidence that are missing? Possible, but based on that, that's what we need to go on. until, you know, other evidence can come into court, right now it's based on this man, this 22-year-old from Utah, on video surveillance, DNA, Discord, and so on and so forth. Kash Patel and the FBI did a fantastic job getting the correct information, and that's what they're going to go on. And for me, only in my opinion, he'll be found guilty. Whether he gets the death penalty or not, I don't know. All right, I'll read a few more comments here. All right. Trump makes billionaires first. If that was true, why did he say, goodbye, Elon, see ya, right? Trump cares. A lot of people, I can't persuade you, and I'm not trying to. Trump cares about all, right? Because let's rewind if you're new. Remember the shutdown? Stimulus checks, he goes high, Nancy Pelosi goes low, right? He implemented PUA, first time, self-employment, unemployment. He wants to give a 2,000, and I believe he will, 2,000 Doge rebates. I was hoping before Christmas. He used the words promise. So I think some people on here might see it under a certain amount. We don't know yet. He's done everything he can to protect us, our borders. So as far as him just caring for the comment of billionaires, I disagree. He's a billionaire. He's worked hard for it. You work hard, you can become anybody you want. You got to work hard. But as far as him caring, I know you didn't ask that. He cares for anybody who wants to be, who cares about America and common sense. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, gay, or whatever. So you got to ask yourself that before you go to sleep, leading into the 28 midterms and the election. Until the Democrats can prove that they care about the flag, United States, and people, because they don't even care about illegals. Everybody, they care about illegals. No, they don't. They just use them. Until they prove they can care about American people and they can fix problems like tariffs. People say, well, tariffs aren't working. Well, first of all, they are. Second of all, if they don't work, come up with something, write something up, how they will work. Healthcare is not working. Come up with something that will work. And I call out the Republicans too. It's all about helping out America. And right now, there's no signs of any Democrat, Gavin Newsom, AOC, or any of them, for the exception maybe one or two, maybe three, who really care. So I don't think it'll be Gavin Newsom. I don't think it'll be AOC, although AOC is very dangerous because she could talk a game. All right, I'll move on. So if you're a Democrat, I think it's over for a while, for at least another 8 years. But I can be wrong. All right, what we got over here? Palon, how are you? Got the Christmas lights up. Hard to see them because we got the light on. But we got the lights up for Uncle Charlie and everybody who wants to enjoy some Christmas spirit. It's hard to see with the light on, though. All right. Newsom can't fix California. He won't fix. Absolutely. And by the way, speaking of homeless, because we help out the homeless, he hasn't done anything to help out the homelessness in California. In fact, between the homeless fraud there, Minnesota, more fraud. We got so much fraud going on. In addition, we're going to see the fires, the Powell State fires. I'm not saying Gavin Newsom sparked it, but he did nothing to do to help or prevent. And so him running the nation, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think it would actually be worse than the committee that ran it. I don't know. But no, I don't think he has a chance, 1% chance. But think about it, He's trying, podcasts and trying to act tough. He's trying to act tough. You can't act tough. You got to be who you are. So I don't think he has a chance. All right. Let's see here. Sal, I don't ignore that my paycheck went farther in 2024. Thank you for your comment. What do you think about Trump? and the FBI lying about Charlie Kirk assassination. I mean, again, I don't know if you just came on, but in fairness, maybe you just popped on. There's no evidence on anybody else out there. I've asked that. Could it be a third person? Maybe. All the evidence are going towards and Kash Patel and the FBI on this man, this 22-year-old who is still innocent. So, you know, until we hear or brought in any other evidence, it's once again our FBI, Kash Patel, bringing in this man who did, you know, allegedly did this crime, you know. So I understand though. I get it. I know people hate Trump, and when these assassinations happen, particularly on somebody who was a conservative, who I didn't agree on everything that Charlie Kirk, may he rest in peace, said. When people hate Trump, they're going to hate anybody who particularly are high profile talking. I get it, but I don't get it. I get it, but when somebody loses their life, I think that's where you got to leave the politics aside and look at the evidence and say, you know, I still don't like Donald Trump, but this man should have never happened. Like even Stephen A. Smith, you know, who doesn't agree on a lot of Donald Trump's, but he says this, you know, may risk, you know, it's just common sense, you know. So, but I can understand why people don't like Trump, but I can't understand how at this point they see that anybody else did this. And to follow up with that comment I just said, Palon, thank you so much. High five, fist bump to you. Can hate Charlie Kirk, you know, when somebody loses their life. You can say I disagree on this guy 100%. I quote, but, you know, you don't even have to say rest in peace, but don't comment and bring up hate when somebody loses their life, you know. He never once criticized anybody, by the way. I watched many of the mic out in these universities. He let these people talk. He brought the YouTube mic outside and let everybody talk, Debbie. Everybody discuss, you know, more than just a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, smiling. You know, he even said a couple times, you have a good point, but, you know, he just talked. It was a faith. Nothing wrong having faith. And, you know, if you don't believe, there's nothing wrong with that either. But he was helping young people, mostly young people, and supported Donald Trump. What's the problem with that? I don't see any problem with anybody expressing their thoughts on their party. Now, should they have better security? Probably. And it's a shame because now, yes, Debbie, may you rest in peace. All these major, huge podcasts or YouTube channels or Facebook, whatever, on either side are going to be scared to go outside. But it's reality. It's how we're living now. Well, we've been living like this since the 60s, 70s. But now it just seems, for me, it's worse. It's worsened. It really has. This country's still upside down. Even though Donald Trump's the president, it's still upside down. All right, let's see here. Go vegan. I tried vegan. I didn't prefer. But thank you. See, I read all comments. Got to understand, a lot of comments are coming in. What's going on in Canada? How cold is it in Canada right now? Good night, Lori. Thank you for popping in. 2 nights in a row. Appreciate you, my friend. I know you're very busy. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. It's not on notice. You want... Oh, is it pretty warm? In BC. Yeah, I heard about that actually. That the vaccine. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right. What else we got here? It's going good in the United States of America. It's going good. Thanks for asking. It's going good where I'm at, Las Vegas. As far as weather, it's warm. It's going good. It's going good. You know, it's a shame what happened in Washington, D.C. as one of the National Guard, she lost her life. One's battling. I hate when that kind of stuff happens. Those people are Democrats, Republicans, just people trying to protect Washington, D.C., you know, and unfortunately these things are going to continue to happen. Read your comment, Tim. What else we have? Was planning on visiting LA. LA's beautiful. You know, we should never, it's just run by a horrible governor and hasn't really been run right since Ronald Reagan. But I say this if you're new, California takes a bad rap. It's beautiful. Mountains, skiing, you know, ocean's a little cold to go in, but nice beaches, good restaurants. It's just run upside down, you know, right? Just like New York. Now, I don't want to live there, but it's the government and the mayors who mess it up most of the time. There is no Christmas in Chicago without snow. You know, Hugo, I was just saying that in Vegas because it does snow in Vegas, but we went up to the mountains. It's funny you brought that up, Hugo, and we just today got back about 2.5 hours ago. There was snow 45 minutes away. A lot of you who've been, who subscribed to me, we have a mountain that snows and it's 30 degrees cooler because I needed to see some snow. Because it's not, for me, I got to see some snow. I'm like a kid, you know, but there was some snow up there at least and cold. Canada's beautiful. All right. Yep. Sal, what's your thoughts on Solomon illegal immigration? I believe we need to we got to get more involved. And, you know, look, I'm against people coming here illegal, right? However, helping out the homeless, I'm going to answer your question. I don't ask them if they're Democrat, Republican, gay, straight, whatever, or illegal. I'm going to help them out. I do agree that we need to work better as both sides to make it, I don't know if it's easier, but a fee that goes in when you come here out of your check, you know, asylum, something has to be done. But I don't believe that we should have open borders, open sesame, and having people come over. Not all of them are bad that come over, but it's illegal. You know, you have to come here legally. And even my Mexican friends and other parts of the world who come here legally, who fly here, not sneaking through, agree with me. 90% of them agree what I'm saying. So, but I do agree we got to work harder on both sides to figure out long-term answer on how we can do it. Like for the farmers that have been here for 20 years plus, you know, do we send them back? Do we make them pay into a system? How much? 10%, 20%? You know, so a lot of things we got to work on. There's a lot of healthcare we need to work on, you know, homeless, mental health, you know. But I asked the viewers on here, it comes to Trump or what we just had. I'll take Donald Trump and common sense what we had before. Because what we had before, I don't know what the hell we had, you know. You know, it was a committee. I don't know if anybody knew who the hell was running this country. And we know one thing for sure. That's why Trump won. Because Democrats voted because it comes down to, well, their pockets were hurting, their pocketbooks, but also all these illegals. And they know that a lot of them were bad guys from Venezuela, not just Mexico. You know, Iran, Iraq, all over. So, all right, let's continue. A few more comments here. All right, people are saying their paychecks went farther in 24, pardon me. Sleepy Joe, yeah, he's still sleeping. But I wish him well. You know, I know he's got some health problems. I wish him well. Also, the tsunami. I'm reading a tsunami in Japan, and I guess there are alerts on Pacific, on California, tsunami alerts. So maybe we'll follow that tomorrow. We'll see. Trump all day, every day. Ruby, I hear you, my friend. All right. Yep. Are we close to World War III? No. And are you alluding to Venezuela and taking out the tanker and the oil, you know, to make poison not come here? No. That's not a war. Let's see here. All right. Get some water. I'm surprised my voice held up. Wow. Let's see here. I'll read this comment here. I'm not the biggest fan of Trump. but I will never be rude to his followers at all. Hey, I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you for the comment. Great comment. That's the way it should be, you know? It doesn't mean if he comes out and says, well, you know, terrorists, this and that. Great comment right there. You know what I mean? We have a lot of Democrats who come on. We have a lot of Republicans who used to like Trump who don't. We have Democrats who didn't like Trump before, but they maybe still don't like him, but they support common sense and until they figure it out. So we have all types of different people, you know? But we shouldn't have to sit here and say terrible things. Alrighty. Epstein program paid for New Mexico taxpayers. Trump sold out USA to Israel. I'm reading comments, guys. This is not me saying this. I'm reading, trying to pull some comments out. They come in pretty quick. If I don't read your comment, they come in so quick sometimes. Appreciate all the support and likes on today's live and donations. Once again, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. We're live almost every day. Have to take a few days off sometimes. We should be live once again tomorrow. Probably take weekends off. I want to cover some other stories. Certainly going to check into tsunami in Japan. Our prayers are with Japan. Prayers are with Japan. Once again, a shout out to Hugo, who's been sponsoring today's live for the last 1 hour and 6 minutes. So high five, fist bump to our longtime loyal subscriber. Appreciate all my long time subscribers, original subscribers. I also appreciate all the new subscribers and all the moderators. Each and every one of you on here, even the trolls or spam, even though we don't tolerate too much of it. What's going on in British Columbia and Canada? God bless. Whiskey Tango, what can I say? Always on here supporting. God bless. God bless. Yep. All right. Reading that comment as well. Yep. All right. Yeah, you're not too late. Oh, well, an hour late. Thank you, though, Whiskey Tango. It's amazing you're still up. Yeah, I'm a little later tonight because I was off, but I had something to do with the homeless and organized something here. A lot easier if you're new to the channel. I do the best I can, me and my wife, and a lot of us on here, like Hugo, Whiskey Tango, Crystal, so many. We tried to organize and feed and get homeless people in the shelters, and that went a little longer than I anticipated. And my wife wanted to go up to the mountains and see some snow, and I wasn't going to do a live, but I wanted to talk about today's topic, this Tyler Robinson and Candace Owens, and other people think that it's Turning Point who did it, and they could be right, but there's no evidence. So here we are. Here we are. And I support mental health care, and I support America. I won't support projecting. Your comment went away. I'm sorry, but thank you for your comment. All right. Yeah, once again, we do help out the homeless. I'm never going to stop as long as I'm able, if I'm alive, and I'm going to continue to help out the less fortunate, and we need to work on that as well. Let's see. You're fake. All right. Somebody call me fake. It's not. All right. Whoa, Alaska, what's up? You know, shout out to Alaska. I'm going to go there next year, God willing. You know? Merry Christmas to you, too, by the way. Once again, Hugo, stop and enjoy the content. Thank you so much. High five, fist bump. Let me give you some love. Let me give you that little heart. Appreciate you, Hugo. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not feeling great about the 2026 midterm. Look, I think we're going to be okay. Trump is going to campaign, so he's going to campaign. What am I drinking? Trump is going to, in January, he's going to go out there like he's campaigning. And because his voice As long as they look, I was going to say conservatives. As long as people go out and vote for the Senate and the House, I don't think we'll have a problem. I think the midterms are going to continue. I was going to say being conservative, Republican, just common sense. I'm not even worried about the 28th president. It'll be tight, but I don't see a problem with it. Unless some senator, House people do something stupid or, don't help the United States. It's all about helping. See, the Democrats, the questions about the midterms, the Democrats aren't showing any love, any help. They just continue to put Trump down. See, it's one thing disagreeing. For an example, you disagree with tariffs. A lot of people, anybody on here disagree with tariffs? If you disagree, come up with something that'll be better. Because you know what? Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, just a few Democrats, they all mentioned tariffs. But they didn't have enough, balls to do it. They're worried about their legacy. So come up with something that will work better than tariffs. Come up with something long-term for the immigration. Come up with long-term for health care, tax credits. Come up with something better than Donald Trump is doing and J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and the list goes on. So until that day comes, they're going to lose the midterms. And I've been wrong before, but I think that they have no chance. Unless they screw it all up. When I say they, the Republicans. All righty. With terrorists, look, I'll just say this. Other countries been, I know you just hear this over and over, and it sounds like a broken record, but think about this. Our taxpayer money, 40, 50 years plus, other countries, China on the top, been ripping us off. There's nothing wrong with stuff made in other countries. But you know what? Pay a fee and make things here in the United States. Bring down the cost. That's it. We shouldn't get ripped off. So I agree on Trump. And I complained about it in the beginning. It was hurting my business. Still is. All right. What we got over here? All right. Yep. If anybody's spamming, just a friendly warning. If you're going to spam, moderator's going to take you. All right, let's continue here. Absolutely. Groceries. I agree that groceries need to come down even lower. Like beef. Beef's got to come down lower. We got to do something with that. But, gas is down, oil's down, barrel oil's down, eggs went down, affordability. Yeah. What is affordability? Explain it. Okay. So, once again, Trump's not perfect, right? We know that. One person is perfect, and that's Jesus, but, a hell of a lot better than what we just had. And that's that. We can go back and forth for an hour. We won't, but that's that. Hey, Mark, how are you, Mark? Appreciate you saying hi. Are corn chips affordable? I will say this. Biden was worried about not corn chips, but chips on the State of the Union. Remember that? Everybody has a short memory. I don't. I keep notes. Yeah. He was worried about we need more potato chips in the bag. And I agree. But what's more important? Potato chips being short or money in our pocket? And the worst economy we've ever had. Worse than Jimmy Carter and worse than Barack Obama, who started all this mess. All right. I said this if you're new. Barack Obama is the second worst president. I know a lot of you think Jimmy Carter is, but no, Barack Obama is. All right. Hello. For those who are saying hi and hello. All right. Who is the best president? Like right now? And the last, I think Trump by far is a landslide. I don't think there's anybody better than Trump because he is, for me, I know he has the R as a Republican. He cares about, the stuff he says is what we want to say, It's what people want to say in a bar, in your living room. with your spouse, your partner. His voice is our voice. And I agree. If you don't know his language by now, when I say his language, not his language, his present, he's everything of us. Just in a suit. I wish he wouldn't wear a suit. He's us. He's fighting for each and every one of us. You know? And he's right. Somalia and all that. You know? It's garbage. You know? They come here. Trump has no problem about them being a Democrat, but love our country. Support issues. Help out. And if you don't like what Trump's doing, figure out something that's better. That's it. So, you know, does he go too far sometimes? Maybe. But you can't blame him. You can't blame him. So, yeah, I think Trump's the... Look, they're going to be making a movie 20 years from now, and there's going to be kids born tomorrow. And they're going to say, who was that man? Right? He was a leader. He cared about America. That's who he was. Was he or is he perfect? No. Pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah, I mean, that's it in a nutshell, you know? With Trump. He's out there every day. He's the last person to go to sleep, according to J.D. Vance. First person to wake up. Plenty of energy. Thank you, Carmen. And fight for us each and every day. And this flag. Keeping us safe. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't always, you know, some words come out and drops the F word, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I can see where people get upset. And each and every day, the Democrats come at him and continue to come at him and fake. 99.9% is all a hoax and lies. 99.9. You know. I'm doing well. Who said, how are you? Let me see. Who's that? Thank you. Hey, Jerry. How are you, Jerry Hill? Good to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. Doing well. A little bit of a cold, but what are you going to do? Yep. Kevin says, I'm brainwashed. My young grandkids love Trump and have known about him for years. From Debbie. A subscriber, Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. A loyal subscriber. All right. Now, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. If you enjoy the content, 95 likes. Thank you, Lemon J. Ooh, that's scary. You read my mind. Where's Lemon J with the likes? And speaking of colds, I hope you're doing better. Picking Trump has... Thank you for those who are liking the live stream and subbing. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're new, we're live almost every day. We do take some breaks off. If I'm feeling better, I'll go live tomorrow. But it's sad when you have people like Candace Owens. She has a great YouTube channel, million subscribers, so she must be doing something right. I'm not here to knock her, but when she comes out and says, we all know who took Charlie Kirk life, and comes out and says, Turning Point USA, first of all, how does she know all her subscribers or people who are watching her all agree on that? A. And B, it is sad. C, there's no proof. Instead of her coming out and saying, you know, he's innocent before proven guilty, it could be, but to say we all know, I don't know about her. I just don't know. I don't think she really knows herself. Candace exposing the fraud. All righty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap things up. I'm going to give everybody about 2 minutes for those who are like chatting among each other to say their goodnights. And we're going to sign off in about 2 minutes. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, Hugo, Whiskey Tango, and others who sponsored today's live. Thank you, moderators, for being here on this late night. Well, for me, it's late on a Thursday. Let me be the first. Say have a great Friday and a great weekend. Stay positive. We help out the homeless. So let's pray for the homeless. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray that justice will be served on this young Tyler Robinson, who is innocent, before proven guilty in the court of law. I feel that he is going to be proven guilty, my opinion. So, thank you, Palon, for also donating tonight. Hugo, thank you again for all your donations. Dropping a bomb, a $10 super chat. Let me give you a like and a heart before we sign off. High five, fist bump. Woo! Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll make sure we forward that on today. Today in some places, tomorrow on helping out the homeless and getting more burgers and other goodies. Make sure you check out the short videos. FR30. Thank you. Seen that donation here late. Make sure if you are not tired or tomorrow, check out lots of shorts and comment and give me your thoughts on helping out homelessness here in Las Vegas and in other states. And use your own judgment. Help them out. When I say help them, not with money. Just say, hi, how are you? Anything I can do for you, you'd be surprised. They're not going to say $100. They're not going to say $1,000. They might say a cup of coffee, a cup of tea. They are human. They are human, and we got to do better on helping out both sides. Republicans, Democrats, Trump, so on and so forth. We need to help out our less fortunate, not just during the holidays, all year long. And that goes a long way for our neighbors. And a lot of us are 1 check, 2 checks away from being homeless. And a lot of people are out there because they don't want to call family up. And there's a lot of people who want to be out there. But we pray for all those. There's nobody should be out there unless they want to be out there doing camping and being alone by themselves for spiritual. God bless our nation. God bless Trump. God bless each and every one of you. Hugo, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Show some love to your other YouTube videos that you enjoy. Give them a like, subscribe, and help them all out. I'm out. God bless. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I'll see you.